Hey friends, this is Jake and welcome to another one of my videos in how to make a friend. And if you're curious in other ways in how to make a friend, I made a whole playlist for you called Social Relationships. You can see it on the front of my YouTube page. Today's tip is to cold call or cold text. Back in the day, and even today, there's this idea of cold calling in sales. It's when you're a salesperson and you have something to sell, and so you start calling a lot of people in your contacts or in a telephone book. Those still exist. What I want you to do right now is to pull out your cell phone. My cell phone's right here. I want you to pull out your cell phone and look through your contacts. Check to see who would be maybe a candidate where you can send them a text, or maybe even call, maybe a text. See who you haven't spoken to in a while or who hasn't spoken to you in a while. Look at your last text messages to see if there's any, conversations that have been cut off due to the other person or due to yourself. See if there's someone in there that you've been really wanting to talk to for a long time, but you haven't had the guts to do it yet. You never really know what happens on the other end when you send your message in the first place, whether it's a call, a text, a friend request. After you send that DM, what's gonna happen or how it's perceived. Our mind might tell us we're not worth it, we're not worth the time. They're gonna just delete it. They're not gonna focus on me. They're gonna be like, where have you been? They're thinking. It's as if we have this crystal ball in front of us and we're trying to tell the future. As if we already can read their thoughts when that's not really fair to them. It's not very fair to you if others do that to you too. So cold calling, cold texting, it's helpful. It sets the standard of you trying to reach out just to say hi. And I can't tell you enough. I've received so many phone calls, text messages, DMs, friend requests from people I haven't heard from in months, a few of them for a few years, and it was during COVID. And a lot of them were checking in on me. I had no idea they had my number still. I had no idea we were friends on, Facebook still, which is pretty sad. This is how people can generate that snowball effect in trying to connect with other people, is to try your best to talk to people, re-get to know them again, because chances are after a few months, they're a little bit different. A smidge. Same to you. And if you have a struggle with this, let me give you a step-by-step scenario in how you can maybe effectively implement this better. 1, pull out your cell phone. 2, scroll through your contacts and pick at least 5 people who are good candidates to reach out to. 3, I want you to not overthink what the message is going to be that you're going to send to them. It's going to be a little bit scary at first. Keep it simple. Hi, how are you? Been thinking about you. How have you been doing for the pandemic? How are you and your family? How are you and so-and-so? Make it authentic, genuine. And then lastly, send it. Have your hopes, thoughts, prayers, whatever gets you by, put that out there. Really hope that something good can come out of it. And in the case that nothing does come out of it, hear me out for a moment. If you see my other videos, you notice that there's a portion where I give motivational tips. This is when I kind of talk more freely, less scripted. And I try to really put your best interest in mind because I wish it was something that was done to me earlier in my career or earlier when I was trying to create relationships or understand this whole friendship thing at all. My motivational tip for you today is to not give up. It can be super easy to give up. Very easy. The goal here is to attempt something, putting something out there in the world. Text, a call, a DM, a friend request. It's uncertain what's going to happen next. That's the scary part. That's the anxiety-provoking part. I have a hunch that you have maybe more than 5 contacts in your phone. And if not, that's just your phone. Go to any other social platform that you use that can be beneficial for you. When we did our training in grad school for group therapy, there were these life rules, or I guess you could say, unspoken rules of standards that happened when you work with a group. And there's this concept of universality. What this means is if you're feeling something not good, alone, this pandemic has separated me from a lot of people, I have no friends, I'm no good, I'm not worth their time, people disrespect me, people don't like me. There's this whole complex feeling that you might have. Universality tells us that if you have that feeling, there's a chance someone in the room has similar feelings. The bad news is that you're feeling this, but the good news is that others might be feeling this too. It makes you human. It makes everyone around us human. And it's a reminder that although you feel very alone in this space, chances are others that you're reaching out to might feel the same degree of loneliness or worse. And by you reaching out, what do you think that does to them? What do you think it would do to you if someone reached out to you? I'd feel excited, enthralled. I'd want to reach back and put some energy into it. And to add to that, you may have heard me say in other videos that when you reach out and you knock on your neighbor's door to ask to borrow the lawnmower, when you call someone, when you send a DM, when you are going out into the public and you extend your hand. These are your way of putting something out there. This is your way of trying, because I think a lot of people are quick to think of failure before they even take the option of trying, which is scary, because the more that's practiced, it can burden us with the idea that we're not worth it, we're a walking failure. Success in connecting with people comes from attempting something. It comes from trying something. But if you do nothing at all, nobody will see it, and you won't have any practice. And that's the goal of this channel. And the over-encompassing idea is that people try and they fail and they try again. A lot of my clients often hear me say, fail your way to the top. Stumble uphill, falling forward, landing on your hands, getting back up, using that forward momentum. That does something to people. It certainly did something to me. So now is the time to pull out your phone, open up your laptop, pull out that tablet, and try to connect. Create that message, send it out there in the world, fingers crossed. And if they accept it, fantastic, start there. If not, look at another person to see if you can connect with them. This is what it takes, little by little. They're investments, because you never really know what you're gonna get from them. You definitely know what you'll get if you don't invest at all. So I hope that today's video was helpful for you. It was a good reminder for me to continue to reach out to those who are close to me, and even to reach out to those who I haven't spoken to in a long time, regardless if they didn't reach out to me first. I hope today's video was helpful for you. Take good care of yourself. Remind yourself that you do have that worth. And remember, take care.